prefer that.
I think 5 out of 5. 6 out of 5.
Thank you. Thank you for signing everybody in.
Oh, we put this pleasure.
That's the starting in 20, that's the starting in 4.
Makes a
Yeah,
good
that one's always late, behind. 15 seconds behind.
Go on.
Good evening. Welcome to the October 7th Select Board meeting. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. Start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Citizens input. Seeing no one here, guessing that's not going to happen.
We did not receive any emails prior to the meeting.
Okay. We have a public hearing for 7:05. So why don't we,
Do we have any action items?
Yeah, we got 3 or 4.
yeah,
Okay,
why don't we attack those?
sure. Motion to accept the tree donation from Andy Felix of Tree Tech, valued at approximately $500 for the beautification in honor of Mr. Sullivan at the Mill Street Complex.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Motion to accept the donation from AJT Supplies in the amount of approximately $8,000 worth of landscaping materials for the beautification of the grounds at the Chapel Meeting House and Fire Pit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Motion to approve a block party application for November 1st, 2025, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 45 Cross Street.
Second.
This has been obviously reviewed by police.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Motion to approve Select Board meeting minutes from September 23rd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
Abstaining, I wasn't here. And that's all.
You know, believe it or not, isn't there precedent where even if you're not here, you could still vote if you wanted to?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just as a
By
thought.
necessity, I mean, he said kind of, you don't have to, but if you needed to because you lost board members, they could always, what was it, motion to form, or there was some
Yeah.
language.
Yeah, he went over
But-
it at that training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she doesn't
Yeah.
need to
No,
since she
no,
wasn't
I know.
here.
I usually don't, just because I feel like you don't know if they're correct or not.
Right.
But yeah, he did say that, like
Yep.
if it was a matter of just having.
If you needed a quorum to do it,
Yeah.
exactly.
Obvious.
Paige, you want to hit a couple of, or one of your
Yeah,
items?
sure.
While we're waiting?
So tomorrow morning, I will be at the Tri-Town Chamber of Commerce. They have an annual Economic Development Summit every year in October at TPC. So I will be speaking about Foxborough's economic development, typically focus on that, and what else? The infrastructure. I'm going to be highlighting the senior center sale that's coming up, and I'll also mention the Schneider project, just to, because there's a lot of industry folks that attend, and hopefully they'll spread the word. On November 4th, there's a planned tax classification hearing. That will be upcoming. And then the date for the financial summit that we do every year with the school committee and the AdCom Select Board is proposed for December 2nd at 5:30, which would be just before our meeting on December 2nd. Mark Craig and his team have organized a community resource fair where, discover all that Foxborough has to offer at this fair, connect with local organizations, explore programs and services, and learn about valuable resources available to you and your family. That's being held Saturday, October 18th, from 9 to 1 p.m. at the community center. So we'll have, I heard today that public safety will be there, so there'll be a lot of great information, so the residents should consider coming out. And as by way of an update, as you know, there's a vacant school committee seat, so I checked with Dr. Berdos, and we all know it's a joint appointment, And she said that there is still, at that last week, they were still in a 2-week waiting period for people to send in a letter of interest. Once those letters of interest are received, she anticipates that the school committee and the select board will each create a subcommittee to conduct interviews consisting of 2 members of each board. And then the timing would be dependent on the subcommittee. So I think one action that everybody should be thinking about is who will be the 2 members of the subcommittee for that.
Actually, I spoke to the chair of the school committee, and it's, I think what we're going to do is the chair and vice chair of each will sit on that. I felt that it was important that this is the second most important committee within the town, that we have a voice at that table. That's why I asked for it not to be them bringing somebody to us alone. Obviously, I'm hoping a very qualified candidate is in the mix. But again, before it just jumps to us and we only have one choice, I thought we should have a say in it as well, so.
It's now 7:05, so I will
Okay.
sit back till the night later.
Okay.
And this is going, just to be clear, on this public hearing, the applicants have requested a continuance,
Okay,
so it's
so
not
we still
going
have to open it.
Yes.
Yep.
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Don't we have to say what it's for?
Yep.
The Select Board, acting as the local licensing authority pursuant to MGL Chapter 138, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, beginning at 7:25 PM in the Gala Meeting Room.
Okay.
Town Hall, 40 South Street, Foxborough, Mass., on the application of a transfer of license of an on-premise annual all alcohol beverage license from Olson Restaurant Group, Foxborough LLC, doing business as Axel and Burn, to Angels Cafe of Foxborough, doing business as Angels Cafe, 267 Washington Street, Foxborough, Mass. Ohad Angel, General Manager. All interested parties are welcome to attend.
And we do have to do a roll call, so Mark, yes?
Stephanie, yes.
Bill, yes.
Amy, yes?
Debbie, yes.
Okay. So you've said that this is just going to be continued?
Correct,
So Angels isn't open yet, right?
correct.
Okay.
So I would, actually, Katie did not tell me when to, what time to do, so I guess I would just do maybe 7:15 at our next meeting, which is, let me see, because we have to do a date and time certain.
Yep.
Let's see, that would be October 21st.
Yep.
So maybe at 7:15, and if it might overlap a little, we'll just do one before the other if there's an overlap.
So we need a motion to continue till October
Okay.
21st at 7:15.
Okay. Do we need to close the meeting first, or do we do that first?
You keep it open.
You keep it open
Okay,
anyway,
sorry,
yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Motion to
still learning.
continue the hearing with Angels Cafe to October 21st at 7:15 PM.
Second, second, Mark, yes?
Stephanie, yes.
Bill, yes.
Amy, yes?
Debbie, yes.
Okay.
Motion to close the public hearing?
No,
No,
We
it
don't
stays
close.
open.
it stays open until,
Okay,
it's just been continued.
so
So,
we cancel the application for transfer?
yeah, we don't do any of that at this
Okay,
point.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Strategic planning proposal discussion?
Yes, so for the public's information, we had put out an RFP for strategic plans, and we received 3 responsive proposals. The Select Board last week received the copies of the 3 proposals, along with the original RFP for reference, and then some instructions. And their homework for that was to review the proposals, and there was a matrix for which to compare the comparative criteria. This is all, it has to be done under 30B. It has to be done in executive session confidentially, so that the applicants aren't sort of exposed prematurely. But so we anticipate having an executive session before next meeting. On October 21st, we hope to meet at 6 PM to discuss. But I did want to put this on the agenda to just daylight that issue, and then to just touch base to make sure that that time would work for everybody, if you agree with it, and just sort of see, we can't talk names, we can't talk substance, but process we can talk. And I know that we're still waiting for a couple evaluations. That's not a problem. And I guess if anybody has any general questions or any concerns about an October 21st executive session, speak now, or otherwise we'll go ahead and schedule that.
Through the chair. So if do we have to do that process, or if one of the three is clearly better than the other two, can we just jump to that, or do we always have to do an executive session and discuss it?
Yeah, you have to come you have to vote as a group.
As a group?
Yes.
For all three? Okay. So it's not just the matrix,
And
it's us actually.
it's just to, and is it right, Paige? So, and that's to give you, I mean, ultimately, Paige will be the person to pick. That's our input for you to
Well, I'm
take
going to defer to you. I mean,
into consideration.
yeah, I'm going to work with you on it.
Keep
I
it
also
together.
did an evaluation, but I certainly, if you all chose a different one, then I don't think I would overstep. You know, it's really your choice, but I'm the procurement officer, so it goes through me. But I think the bigger question when we start talking about it is whether you think an interview will be necessary. Those interviews, it's an all or nothing. You can't just choose one to interview. You have to interview all three, and we would have standardized questions. And just for clarification, if as you were working on the spreadsheet, I'm sure you noticed that some of the questions had to do with references. We haven't yet checked those references, so those are pending. So obviously, that would be something you'd be hearing about on October 21st as well, to ensure that the references checked out. So there's some work, we'll see whether an hour is even enough. It could take a little longer, it depends, and maybe it'll be a clear-cut front runner, and we'll say, oh, there doesn't need to be an interview, or it might be that folks want to see a little bit more, and we can go for them but.
Great.
And I know you prefer them to be in today.
You're not alone.
Okay. I was going to say.
Only one person handed theirs in.
Oh, okay. But
everybody's close.
Like, I didn't want to just, flip my way right through it. But
It's a lot of work.
so
It's
what-
hard.
It is
yeah,
hard.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got a lot of cross-offs.
I got mine done about 10 minutes ago, so let's be real.
Well, and something I was as I was reading, I'm like, oh, this is a little bit above my pay scale.
Oh.
But it's good for us to see it all and work through it. What would be just not that we want to hold anybody up, and I know you're going to be away anyhow, but
Today at 8 o'clock.
What's the last day that you would really need it?
I mean, if you can have it in by the end of the week, I think that'd be great.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone, and procurement's going to do it, sorry. But I know Brandon's going away, too. So I was trying to get it into him, so it's not last minute. We do have, the prices are locked in for 60 days, so we have a little time. But again, the longer we wait on this end, the longer it extends out next year. But we want to do it right. So if, do the best you can. If you need it, and it was hard. In fact, it's, we spent all that time on the criteria, and then as you start to use it, you're like, well, this is repetitive, or we don't have this information. So it's funny when you start to apply it, you go back and second guess yourself, and Monday morning quarterback yourself. So, but I think generally, if we all come in with sort of a sense, I know I had front runners, and but I'm very curious what other people. I'm dying to look at docs right now, but I won't.
No, but I think
Not that I was the only
that's
one.
going to be huge when we hit that point where we're all can talk about it in an executive session. Then I think those of us that this isn't quite something we've done. I don't know if anybody's done it before or not. Were you originally the one before this?
Yes, long time ago,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as
Yeah.
complete as
Yeah.
this.
And I think that then too, I think we just, each one of us do our best at it, and
Right.
then when we do get together as a group, then we can kind of see whether we're spot on what we thought, or somebody else, and I think that'll probably help us all,
Absolutely.
put it together. Okay.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
6 o'clock is good? What was the other question?
6
you asked?
o'clock
6
on
o'clock
October
good?
21st.
That's good to me.
Works? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
All right, let's get a few more minutes here. You want to go back to your,
Sure. Let's see. I'm doing my biweekly reminder about short-term rentals and World Cup, that Airbnbs and VRBOs are not allowed, and nor is renting of parking spaces in residential areas. And I just say this so that there's no question as we get closer to World Cup. I mentioned at the last meeting, we're having an employee appreciation event the morning of November 13th, and the town hall will open at 11 a.m. And I also mentioned that I will be out of the country starting this Friday through October 20th. So I will try not to check email, but we'll see how that goes. In the grant department, Foxborough, this already hit the news, we didn't want to wait, so we put it out to the Foxborough Reporter, but as everybody's probably seen, we received the maximum award under the Complete Streets program of $500,000 to provide improvements to the South Street, Green Street, Cedar Street intersection, and we all know that that's an intersection of concern for the community, so we are thrilled and thankful to Chris Gallagher and his team for the pre-work that was done that allowed us to get the grant to do it. So he said that it would, I think they're doing design now, and they hope to construct in the spring. And some Chapter 90 money will go towards that as well. We also received word that Foxborough Fire Department has been awarded a grant of $76,181.81 in the FY24 Assistance to Firefighter Grants announcements, and those funds are going to be used for vehicle exhaust removal system. So it's wonderful when we get that.
Specific amount.
Yes, I know, 81 cents. And I have another announcement about Foxborough Fire, but I want to say, before I say this, we met internally as a staff to discuss it, and the plan is to bring forward a plan. So if we could hold off discussion on this, because I think it's going to be provocative, but the Foxborough Fire Department has been awarded $1,399,125.94 in round 2 for the staffing of adequate fire emergency response announcements, SAFER grants, and those funds would be used to hire 5 firefighters. So I know there's always concern about that, so we will have a plan next meeting to come in with a proposal to the select board before the vote is taken on that, because we understand that there's some concerns sometimes when grants are provided, and how do we continue at the end of the grant. So stay tuned for more details.
Quick question on that page.
Sure.
When they give a certain amount like that, is that what they figure is 5 firefighters, like, or like say we decided 3 was enough? Is that amount for what the salary equals for 5 firefighters?
It was tied to a
Or-
specific proposal that the town submitted, fire department submitted, so, and they account for, I think, benefits, and I don't want to overthrow it, but based on the meeting, I think it counts for everything.
Okay.
So no, I don't think we could do 3 with that.
And
It's
then
an all or
you have that
nothing.
money for further, so that's a specific amount for 5
Yes,
firefighters.
but more details to follow, because I did ask Chief Kelleher to, and Marie and I did ask for a whole sort of plan during and a post-grant plan, so stay tuned for that.
His strategic plan.
Yes, current and future. We have another award. Chris Gallagher has been just notified by our paving contractor, PJ Keating, that we received a 2024 Quality in Construction Award under the category of general paving, which is under 50,000 tons, Napa Award, the Town of Foxborough Super Pave Hot Mix Asphalt. So whatever all that means, but what it tells me is obviously that our team continues to operate at the highest level, and we're being, between Owen of the fire department and others, we're being recognized nationally for the work that's being done. And so this has to do with the Pavement Association, gives awards to those in the industry who achieve excellence. And the key for this one is it's bestowed by peers, so it's not just some organization seeking to market or whatnot. It's actually peer groups that vote on it. So we are very proud of our team over there and thrilled, of course, that they continue to be recognized. Speaking of amazing teams, our veterans team continues to really serve our community. They have a resource fair. I mentioned a community resource fair. They will be at the October 18th event. So they'd invite everybody to come and learn how you can, as a veteran, be supported, and then as a community member, support veterans if you're interested in that. Communications, the cable show that I promised has been recorded. Mr. Beck was kind enough to be on one of the cameras. So that's a show where I moderated, and Mark Craig and Chris Gallagher will provide updates on the community center project. And the the new mechanics garage over at DPW, so stay tuned for that. It should be out soon, and, I don't know if the press will be reaching out to me when I'm in France, but, it could go live while I'm away, we'll see. Maybe get an Emmy. Mr. Beck said I might get an Emmy. We'll see. The Common Brief is our, a short newsletter that comes out on the non-long newsletter months, and that is available on our website, so we hope that folks will check that out and see what's new in town. And the big one will come out in December, so there'll be another brief in November, but then the big one comes out in December, and we're already working on that now.
Okay, it's 7:20.
Okay, great.
Public hearing for the earth removal permit.
Okay, motion to open the public hearing in conformity with the requirements of Section 21 of Chapter 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Chapter 115 of the Town Bylaws. You are hereby notified that a public hearing will be held by the Board of Selectmen on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, beginning at 7:15 in the Gala Meeting Room, 40 South Street, to review the application submitted by the Bay Colony Group Incorporated on behalf of Blue Diamond Realty Trust for an earth removal permit to be exercised at 61 East Belcher Road, map 122, parcel 006, and map 135, parcel 002. Proposing to remove 87,905 plus or minus cubic yards of material in order to construct a level outdoor storage area for equipment owned by the applicant. All interested parties are welcome to attend.
All in
Roll
favor,
call.
roll call.
Mark, yes?
Stephanie, yes?
Bill, yes.
Amy, yes.
Debbie, yes?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. For the record, my name's Cameron Gray, and I'm with Bay Colony Group. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant to discuss the earth removal permit for a project at 61 East Belcher Road. So 61 East Belcher Road is an existing parcel located on the western side of East Belcher Road. It's serviced by a common driveway, and it's located just after the dump at the bottom of the hill there. So the property is located within the limited industrial zoning district, and it's bordered by vacant land to the north and to the east, and it has bordered by commercial properties to the south and town-owned land to the west. So this property has underwent site plan review in May of 2023 by the Foxborough Planning Board for the construction of a commercial facility, along with the associated parking area, utilities, and outdoor storage area. So currently, today, they've completed construction of the building, the parking area, utilities, so the septic system's in, and now that we're getting ready to begin the outdoor storage area. So, as you said, we're proposing to remove approximately 87,905 cubic yards of material in order to construct a level outdoor storage area. So on the plan I provided, you can see I have the existing conditions in that top viewport. So the property slopes generally from the northwest to the southeast, and you can see from the contours it's a pretty significant slope. So we're proposing to cut into that slope in order to provide a level area in order for him to store his equipment. So we anticipate it's gonna be 2,930 trips to remove this material. So the contractor anticipates about 35 trucks a day. So with an 8-hour workday, that comes about 4 trucks an hour, plus or minus. So the proposed grades will match the existing grades at the property line, and all grading will be confined to the site, so no grading will take place off the property. All debris, including stumps, boulders, and other waste material, will be disposed of in an appropriate manner. And then loam generated here will be used on site in disturbed areas that won't be used for outdoor storage. And then the last thing is that this project is located within a 1-mile radius of the Foxborough Charter School. We don't anticipate any issues, but in accordance with the regulation, there will be no trucking taking place during the first hour preceding the school opening, and also the first hour following the school's closing. And then I think that's really it.
What would be the path of the trucks? How will they be exiting and entering?
So this site, we have the common drive. If you look at the second viewport, I have a stabilized construction entrance. You'll notice one up by the building, and then there's also one at the bottom here. So they have an easement So the idea is the trucks will be able to come up the common drive, get into this site, and then we're proposing a driveway through the easement for them to exit. So they'll be able to loop around the site rather than going into the site and having to turn around and come back out.
But my reference was from on East Belcher. Are they going to be going back towards the dump and over that way?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't established a truck route for them yet. I wasn't sure. I just reading the regulations. I know you guys wanted to weigh in about the truck routes in and out of there and which way they would be going. So I figured I'd leave it up to you guys.
So my only concern is that going the opposite way goes into a residential area, very small streets, very narrow.
Yes, and
And there's been recent addition to residential in that little subdivision that was off there, so there's more kids in that area now. So my preference would be that the trucks, not that I would expect they would, because it's really not a great road to be traveling on, but
Yeah.
don't go that way and they go the opposite way, which is more of a main road, and it's more in commercial until it gets out to
Cohasset.
yeah.
I agree.
okay.
Any other comments or questions?
No, that was a good
No, that's a
question.
great point.
Yeah.
I would just recommend that in the approval, in the paragraph here where Cam read about the loam and the stumps and the truck route and the school hours be incorporated into the decision. And then also in the motion, you'll see, we did ask Catherine, the land use side, and they just requested a pre-construction meeting prior to anything starting.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'll try and remember everything you told me to remember.
Or we could you can reference, okay.
Motion to approve the earth,
Got to close the
oh, I'm so
Close,
sorry.
yep.
Motion to close the public hearing.
second. Mark, yes?
Stephanie, yes.
Bill, yes.
Amy, yes.
Debbie, yes.
Okay. Motion to approve the earth removal permit application submitted by Bay Colony Group Incorporated, 61 East Belcher Road, conditional upon the applicants attending a pre-construction meeting with relevant department heads to ensure compliance with the planning board's decision and Conservation Commission order of conditions, as well as the conditions put forth by this board.
As I articulated in the September 4th letter from Bay Colony Group.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
Didn't get that. Second.
Second.
I guess I just have one question that maybe Paige can answer.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, this is the time for someone to come and air out any grievances about this project. Just curious, did you get anybody reaching out to the town or anything like that?
No.
Okay, sure. Well, this is the time for them to do it
Yeah,
anyhow.
it's a public hearing and nobody's here.
Exactly. I was
so-
just curious if there was anything that we didn't, someone just couldn't come tonight and next thing you know, we're going to hear, back. But this is the time to do
We're here when
it.
the trucks start going, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you very much.
And if I may bring up the fact that one of the ideas we have for Springtown meeting is to take earth removal away from the select board. I don't know how you feel about that, but traditionally it lives in the land use department, the planning board, because they deal with site plans and whatnot. And I remember when I was on that side, I never understood why earth removal came over here. You all don't really deal with this ever. So if it's okay with you, I don't need an official action, but let me know. Otherwise, if we're gonna work on something to improve this process where it actually goes to the board that makes sense and deals with land use and this type of development, site plans more regularly.
Is the planning board meetings, they're televised, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay, because that would be the only concern, that if that's why they did it originally, but other than that.
No, planning board and conservation and zoning are all televised.
Yeah, okay. I have no concerns.
Okay.
I know we're bouncing around a
Yeah,
lot.
no.
Yeah,
Special
well,
Special town
I guess we'll go to the special town meeting warrant articles.
I did give you all hard copies of the warrant, just in case it made life easier. Don't tell Katie.
It does?
I like it.
So the tack we've taken on the last town meeting was to basically approve each one as the board. So why don't we go down them, if there's
When
any,
you say approved, do you mean approved to put on the warrant, or you mean actually vote on whether to recommend?
whether to recommend.
Okay, so this is actually whether so each board member would be voting whether you want to recommend it to the town meeting body.
Right. So why don't we just go down each one and vote each one individually as we go?
All right, so should I start with a motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, article number 1, and that's the FY '26 additional capital budget requests.
Just a point of
Yep.
order more than anything. Do we need a motion to do something like that, or are we just voting
Well, you're going to vote, so
You're
if you're going
voting,
to
you
vote, you have
probably
to
need a
have a motion.
motion.
a motion? Okay.
Because I don't know if there'll be a unanimous vote on to take it as a whole, it might not work out. I think on this one is easy, if I may. jump in.
Okay, I was looking at it from the outside in. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
But I think the CIP one, you already did vote it, so maybe that one, I don't know if you need, but you could always vote on whether to recommend, but I don't know if you need a whole presentation again on that one.
Right.
So a motion to recommend.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So do you want to give us a synopsis on the capital?
Sure, so I mentioned it at the last meeting, but Conservation is seeking a vehicle out of free cash for $42,500. Fire is seeking a brush truck, and this would be lease payment number 1 in the amount of $160,000 from free cash. The schools are seeking 2 new minibuses for a total of $275,000 from free cash. DPW is looking for a compact track loader out of free cash for $60,000. And then sewer would be a community center sewer upgrades and associated side streets and whatnot for $275,000. And those funds are coming from sewer retained earnings.
Yeah, she said we all talked about that last meeting, so.
Yeah. And we did vote on it.
You did.
Vote to
We did.
approve, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, why don't we just.
So you might as well vote to
Just
recommend.
So vote to
They're in front of
recommend,
us,
so
yeah.
the,
Yep.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Okay, motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, article number 2, fire stabilization fund transfer to fire budget.
Okay, so on this one, this will be our last one of these. If you recall, we created an actual account for this for the next fiscal year. This is our last one, and what this is as you know, the fire department does repairs on out-of-town vehicles, and those repairs funds come into the general fund, and you have to move them into the fire stabilization fund to pay for associated costs, salaries, and whatnot. But from now on, this is the last one, and they will be, rather than going into the general fund, these funds will go right into the special account, so we won't have to go through these transactions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, was there a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a quick question. You mentioned salaries, so the stabilization fund would be able to, would also be for salaries?
Yeah, it pays for mechanics that are doing the work and stuff.
Okay. I guess I was a little, I thought, well, actually, no, so we're taking money that is, it's still.
We're issuing a bill for doing
Yeah.
services, and then we're paying ourselves back for doing those services.
Okay, so.
It's just where the
it's-
money goes. It
Right.
says, it doesn't go in the right account.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I guess, well, something,
keeps it
why I
cleaner.
was asking is, there was a lot of discussion at I'm not going to get into it, but the school committee meeting, and it was in the reporter, with monies coming in from World Cup, saying, why can't that be put towards, the issue that's going on with the school committee? And just so people know, you can't, that's not something you're going to count on every year. You can't,
Right.
For salaries, we have to make sure that's funds, taxation, that we know it's
Recurring
coming every
funds.
year. So, just to make clear, I didn't want someone to think like,
But this
we're okaying
is
stuff.
totally separate from that, and this
Yeah.
really only is referring to funds that we are getting for performing a service
And then-
for other communities
Yeah.
and basically paying ourselves back. And now, it's, as Paige said, it will no longer be, this process will now go into the right account and then can be used to
Yeah.
make those payments.
Okay, great. I'm good.
All in
I'm
favor?
good.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none?
Okay. Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 3, revolving fund bylaw amendment.
This one is to create a new revolving fund to allow the department to retain and reuse revenues generated by the Summer Institute program, such as participant and tuition fees, and that'll cover the program's operational expenses, including staffing, materials, outside consultants, and other costs necessary for the program.
Yeah, so this basically, they've run the Summer Institute before, but they really didn't have the appropriate account set up to manage this process. The Summer Institute basically is open to other communities. So while our teachers can go to it, other communities can come in and pay to go to it as well. And then they pay the salaries of people to actually put on the different trainings and process that way. So again, this is really, in my mind, a correction of a process that was being done.
Okay.
There was a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none?
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 4, transfer from free cash to health budget.
Second.
This one has to do with, we have the Public Health Excellence Grant, and as the administrators of that grant on the Foxborough side, we are eligible for 15% of the expenditures to be paid to the town. Again, another case where it comes into free cash, and we're going to transfer it to the health budget to supplement their opioid strategy, and actually will probably be coming forward sometime in the future, because now that we've seen additional, and this has nothing to do with this, but by way of explanation, this is going to free up some of the funds we had through the opioid settlements that might allow us to expand these substance abuse coordinator position to support our boots on the ground. And we've been working heavily with Health Department. Right now, it's part-time, as we all agreed. There is a possibility we might have sufficient funds to actually fund full-time. We're not there yet, but this 15% is money we would be leaving on the table if we didn't collect it, because we're due it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None?
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 5, transfer to general stabilization fund.
Second.
This is a standard operating procedure. We always try to have a rainy day fund. It's part of our policy. It supports the town's bond rating and provides a buffer against unforeseen circumstances such as expenses or revenue shortfalls. So it's a best practice in municipal finance.
We also have a policy that stipulates the amount that we are to target for, so this keeps us within that range.
So that number could be
It-
different from
It
year
goes
to
up
year?
each year based on the revenues and operating budget of the town itself.
So when this is before town meeting, there'll either be a number or a percentage there for people to?
There'll be an amount
There'll
that
be
we're
an
actually
Just
transferring.
specific
yes.
amount?
And quite honestly, I believe Marie will probably get up and explain the percentage that we're falling within.
Well,
at that
AdCom
point.
probably will, yes.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none?
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 6, transfer to capital stabilization fund.
Second.
Again, another best practice, and this one would help deal with renovations and whatnot, and in particular, the Taylor School, we're saving up money, because we know that hopefully will come someday, and we'll have the funds ready to do the pre-work in advance.
So in this particular case, it's not going to be close to what we did, but when we were able to do the Taylor last time, we had actually put away, the borough, we had actually put away, I think it was $1.1 million by that time, which, to Paige's point, actually helped us do the beginning portion of the work that was necessary without going back to taxpayers for additional funding. So it's a great practice because we're always going to have construction projects in town that need funding. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none?
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 7, Police Collective Bargaining Agreement, FY26 to FY28.
Second.
So this is one we've already talked about and, agreed to, so I don't know if there's any questions that came back from that one, but all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None.
Okay. Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 8, authorization for multi-year contract.
Second.
So school committee is requesting that this be a 5-year instead of a 3-year process. There are so many things that they deal with, and quite honestly, even us on the town side deal with at different times, that awarding a 5-year contract would make a lot more sense because you're doing, especially when they're doing, materials, reading materials and stuff like that. 3 years, really, you're not, doesn't make any sense.
Software, yeah,
Right,
it's just software.
exactly, so.
And it would, if every one of these, whether it was 3-year or 5-year, they would have any type of stipulations if you wanted to part ways or whatever, but giving it the 5 years is just kind of good for the reasons why you gave. It doesn't change anything with.
Usually just get a better deal.
With the standard.
I was
with
gonna
the
say,
standard
long term,
contract.
you
It's
end up
typically a
saving
better
money.
deal, but
Yeah.
it's typically, again, 3 years is not the life of the programs you're typically doing. Also, this would still require that the Board of Selectmen have a say in.
Actually, 4 out of 5, so it would be, again, nothing on personnel or salaries, it's only for goods and services type contracts, and for anything to do under this side of the house, 4 out of 5 of you would have to agree to it, and on the school side, it would be 4 out of 5 of the school committee. So there are checks and balances.
Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none.
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 9, reappropriate state revolving fund, PFAS. That's it.
PFAS is good.
So this was done out of order when we did this last year.
It came in very last minute, we will say, it was the 11th hour, but go ahead.
So the
Jose.
CIP committee should have recommended before we went to town meeting vote. They didn't. They have recommended. Town meeting vote did agree to this last year. We have signed a contract for $250,000 based on that vote, but the bonding company would prefer it to be done in the proper order. So we have to bring it back to town meeting to now have what was originally approved already, approved for a second time, and hopefully not hit any snags. This is kind of a critical thing. This is our second plant, and as we said at that town meeting, the town could run 2 plants and meet the requirements that the state is putting on us by not running the 3rd set of wells until we could get the 3rd plant up and running. But we're getting a $16.5 million zero interest loan, which will have some forgiveness potentially like the last one did. It is a gift horse, and it is a requirement that we have to do. So we are kind of crazy as a community if we don't take advantage of this at this point. But again, I strongly recommend this one. Any other questions or thoughts?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none.
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting, Article number 10, Town Common Sign Bylaw.
Second.
So as we discussed in the past, the concept here is to allow the town to make the decision as to whether or not we will have electronic signs on the town common. We may have different opinions, which is fine, but we really, I think, came to an agreement that it's up to the town to make the decision as to whether or not they would like to move this forward. And we'll just take it from there, let it happen.
I just have one question.
Sure.
It's not just the town common that's written here, it's also town hall, written in there.
It does say town hall. When Barney sent it to us.
Oh, yeah.
It says,
just
this was
wanna
not
make sure
added
that-
after the fact, is 2 electronic message boards, combination signs on the town common that respectively face Central and Main Streets, and then 1 electronic message combination sign on the premises of town hall.
I'm just pointing it out, that's, so that when we word
Missed
it.
that.
Yeah, I did too. So quick quick question, I mean, it's already done, but meaning ready to go to the voters, would this happen, if we could, would this have been better to split them up into two separate articles, just in case somebody, is happy with the common, or happy with town hall, or, or you might have some people that are okay with both, you might have not, but,
I think what we can do is a town meeting, if there's a concern about town hall having this as a future option, it could be just deleted.
Okay.
Amended
You just
to
said
You
delete.
can
amended on
remove
the
Yeah,
things, you can
uh,
remove things, you can't add them,
Right.
so.
Correct.
you could
Okay.
have it.
That might have been what Bonnie
Was thinking,
Going.
Yeah, I missed it too,
Yeah.
yeah.
And ju-
I went back to the email and he did say it clearly in his
Yeah,
email
yeah,
to us,
yeah.
but didn't even really pick up on that part of it.
I mean, we do have the electronic sign at the IGO, we do have it at the high school, we have it at the Ahern, on the side streets. It's not, as much as it will be in the common, so.
And we will have an opportunity for Barney to come in, and so are we gonna have some before town meeting, or
No.
at town meeting
No.
we're not gonna be able to show some samples or something, so people,
Barney wouldn't have that,
No,
that's
no,
more
it's-
a source thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just wrote the regulation.
just, okay.
Right.
Right.
I mean, basically, the way Barney wrote it is, it replaces exactly
Yeah.
what is there
That's
between the
Black
post.
to white, right?
Black to white. So
Okay.
it's, what you see today is what you would see tomorrow, except for somebody putting the signs up, it would be electronically there. It's gonna fill the same void, it's gonna fill the same dimensions, but it would be electronic versus manual.
Okay.
And I will say, we are having challenge, we've been informed that the person who does the signs manually now is not interested in continuing long-term. And I was just asking Mark Craig about that, about senior workers, and he's just having trouble getting someone to do it. So if it does go down, hopefully the folks that voted down are willing to come change the sign, because we are running into trouble with people being willing to do it.
And I'll be honest with you, when it came to the schools, that was the problem, because most of those things they open up and stuff, they're clumsy
It's
and they're
physically
hard.
demanded.
Yes,
Yeah.
Heavy.
they're hard to deal with,
And
and
do you have
they're,
to get up on a ladder to?
No.
How, I'm
No.
I'm trying to think of the height.
no, but it's
Like-
just, it's like, think about opening a window that opens this way.
Yeah.
And you gotta get it locked in and stuff like that, and, we had people doing it at the Ahern, and we had the same exact problem. And that was why the PTO came forward to, look for an electronic sign, because, again, they couldn't get the messages out there, because they couldn't get people to come regularly and make the changes.
And then if there's a typo, forget about it. We get the calls and everybody's upset about it, and it's like, you know how hard it is to get someone out there to do that again?
Yeah.
And Deb, I'm just trying to recall, did, when you were working for rec, did you or Renee or one of the girls go out and do that? Or do I remember maybe during the summertime when you had some of the kids
The
there?
kids would do it, yeah.
The kids would
But
go out and do it.
it's daunting, that thing is heavy, and I've had it slipped on
Oh, yeah,
head a few
yeah.
times, so,
So that's,
it's not a pleasant job.
that's why nobody wants to do it. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Abstaining?
Sorry, just crossing off. Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting article number 11, to authorize the sale of land acquired by tax title foreclosure, 76 North High Street.
Second.
So this is land that was taken by tax title and foreclosed upon in, I believe, 2023. It started a long time ago, 2015 maybe, and this would give the select board permission to dispose of it. So the first step would be town meeting vote, and then it would come to this board, and this board would then vote to decide whether to sell it, lease it, keep it, and then any conditions you wanted to set on it, minimum price, type of use, et cetera. So it's a two-step process, and then in order to sell it, if you opt to go that route, you would have to do it through 30B, a sort of clear process. There's no one can submit bids now, no one can say, hey, I really want that, the neighbors. It's an open and fair process. So we've been working on this one for a while.
By the time it gets to this point, Paige, are there still people in the house? Or
No.
that doesn't really matter?
No, we own it now, so it's
Okay,
boarded up.
okay.
Yeah, it's been boarded up and similar to the one on, well, you
Well,
know,
not
the
as,
other-
no, nothing
Not
similar to that one.
It doesn't
The
even have
next
a door
one.
to it. Well,
Yeah, that's
on
the next
Katy
one
Street.
we'll
Oh,
talk
really?
about. Yeah, yeah.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? This will get it back on the tax roll.
Motion to recommend special town meeting article number 12 to authorize the sale of land acquired by tax title foreclosure, 175 Mechanic Street.
So everyone's familiar with this one. I'm sorry, Doc. Everyone's familiar with this one. It's collapsing into itself. We haven't had it fenced because there was a concern. Chris Gallagher had offered to go bulldoze it and just knock it down, but there was a concern about asbestos, so we couldn't touch it. So that's why we fenced it. And there's been a tremendous amount of interest in this property. I know this one in particular dates back to 2010 that this has been going on. So 15 years, it's finally up to, up for the next steps. And so we're hoping town meeting supports this.
Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Motion to recommend approval special town meeting article number 13, the sewer map.
Second.
So this is standard. Every town meeting, we seem to have an amendment to authorize folks to tie into sewer. As we've been running sewer to various areas, we try to anticipate who would want to be included, and some of these have obviously contacted DPW and requested that they be allowed to access. So as you all know, there's some debt associated with this, so every connection helps in that sense, pay off the debt. They have to purchase their capacity, and it helps the ratepayers by paying down the debt.
Great.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to recommend approval special town meeting article number 14, chapter 35 bylaw amendment.
Second.
This tiny little change of Katie's has been the hardest one, but we finally think we have it nailed down. As you know, every year you're voting on appointments, and some of these appointments don't turn over. We've had the same sealer of weights and measures, animal control, wiring inspector. So what this does is allow the appointment to change when when they leave employment. And, or in the case of, let's see, one of them, veterans agent, you can only by law do 3 years, so that's why, but they are basically changing the way it rolls.
So it's always by the
Position.
position. So, yeah,
Yes.
Katie's been working on this for quite some time.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None.
Motion to recommend approval special town meeting article number 15, zoning bylaw amendment, accessory dwelling unit bylaw revisions.
Second.
This has to do with accessory dwelling units. As you know, Massachusetts law now mandates that accessory dwelling units be required in every town. Last year, we got ahead of it by adopting it so that we had some control. And after that adoption, there were some regulations put out by the state so there are some tweaks required to comply with the state mandate.
So this just brings us in compliance.
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to recommend approval, special town meeting article number 16, zoning bylaw amendment, update of zoning base map.
Second.
This is to update the town zoning map. It replaces the existing map, which was adopted all the way back in 1990, with a new map to be approved by town meeting. And it'll also clarify how the zoning and supplemental maps are to be interpreted within the bylaw.
Was this done during public meetings with the planning board, or was there any
I mean,
previous discussions?
They
on-
voted to recommend it.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Okay.
Okay.
Wasn't part of that, just as a further thing, wasn't part of that was that there were certain areas where a zone was touching something but wasn't quite there, and now they're cleaning that up a little bit?
Not yet. So this is basically taking the map that used to just be a bunch of lines with no parcels on it, and it's overlaying it on the parcel map. I
Yeah.
believe the next step is to identify those areas where there might be some cleanup required, and I believe they're planning on doing that in the spring.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion to approve the final October 27th, 2025 special town meeting warrant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And would you make a motion to sign said warrant?
You have to make a motion to sign it? If you approved it? We can just sign it, can't we?
Yeah, because we just approved it.
Okay, so you're going to sign it then. We need 7 copies.
Copy.
And then want me to finish up my last couple items?
Yes, would you
That'd be
please?
great.
Okay, and I'm almost done. We have 2 positions open. I believe it's the same as the last meeting, a police officer, which we're kind of disheartened to see that we're not getting the response that we had hoped to see. And Tree and Parks Division labor drivers open. And then lastly, you'll see on my agenda at the time, it said Route 140 striping was not yet, and ta-da, it's done. So hopefully everybody has had a chance to go through there. It's fabulous, so thank you.
Super improvement.
Yes.
Super improvement.
We're thrilled with that, and thank you to Chris Gallagher, and I know Chief Grace was involved, so that was a great win for Foxborough. And then from Chris, let's see if this is new news, and Bill, you might have newer news. DPW building is moving along, the gas and diesel pumps are up and running, PFAS roof is on, trying to get it weather tight, and the new generator should go online on October 10th, so then the old generator can go to the community center by Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The building is basically, at this point, 77% complete, but all the major components are done. And really, if you got a chance to go walk through it, obviously you'd have to do that with Chris. It's really, really shaping up at this point. Looks very good.
Fabulous.
I think they kind of lost their mind on the landscaping, but
I was just gonna say, the
No.
landscaping looks good.
I did have someone talk to me about
we'll see how much of that survives.
over-the-top landscaping.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I
He
think-
was not pleased.
I think the architects do that for their first picture and then hope something that lives afterwards, but at least it's in front of the DPW, so they will know if it needs to be trimmed. But
Some of it might have been required for screening.
okay.
Maybe not, I don't know.
From the solar field? Sure.
Well, we do have some requiring, yeah, maybe not.
But no, it's actually, final paving is actually scheduled to start Thursday. So that's really going to make a change. They've gotten all the major site work done now, so filling back in. But like I said, the building really does look quite
Might we
spectacular.
get a field trip? So Chris doesn't have to, at some point, maybe we could,
Well, I think when we do a ribbon cutting, but if you want to do it before that, we,
well, he'd probably show us around
Yeah.
them too.
Yeah, so, but that's moving along. The date is still December 6th. We just did a $0 change order to give them to 12/31. Obviously, they want to be out of there sooner. That's just more for their cleanup. And it's, they're not charging us anything for the additional time, which is about 40 days, so. But things happened on the upfront when it came to the metal building, took longer than expected timing-wise.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're there. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Any, on the board, any updates or?
The other night, I saw the commercial advertising Foxborough, renting in Plainville. I did. Very
I've
well
seen it a
done.
number of times.
I've only saw it the one time. I was impressed. I thought it looked great, and it was very welcoming, and
Great.
they did a good job.
They're starting to run it for World Cup, and we're going to see a little more. It was in New York, the New York Times, a print copy, or it was on my phone, but, not a commercial, but an actual ad. So this is all that tourism effort that we've been working on since
Right.
2019. And buying those ads are expensive, so the grants that we've been getting, now that we have all the foundational work done, now we're getting into the actual advertising. So
Yeah, it
I'm
was fun.
thrilled. I don't
It was
watch
fun to see.
TV that way, so I never get to see a commercial. So I'm thrilled to hear that. I heard they
I
were
saw it
going out.
today. It was on
Did?
during the day today.
Is it on like Channel 5 or something, or what?
Most of the time I have Channel 5 on,
Okay.
so. all the time on like the news. Those are kind of like my shows, my General Hospital. So I
Did
think
you recognize
I did with
anybody?
Channel 5.
Was there any people that
No,
you
no, I
recognized?
didn't.
Because I think Jury's children might have been in it, and my
didn't see
kids
any.
were in it.
You know what?
I don't know if they're
Today,
in the commercial, but they did, I voluntold them for a few things when I needed bodies.
I've seen it. I've seen the commercial today. I was in the kitchen. I heard it today. I didn't
Okay.
see it today. Now I'll have to
They'll
pay
take a look,
more
yeah.
attention.
I don't think my kids made it in, but they were in some of the pictures or what, something over at golf. Zach was golfing because he was working there, and then Brady was walking in front of the Marilyn Rodman, but I don't think those made it into commercials.
Anybody
Yeah.
else?
They could have been stars.
Doc and I attended the home, I forget the exact name of it, but where we visited.
Home for Heroes? something?
yeah.
What an awesome project. I know myself and my daughter and another friend of ours, I visited 28 houses.
Wow.
Yeah, and such a great experience for the kids. And
Did they know you were coming? Or was it like a
no,
prearranged?
no,
Okay.
they didn't. So some people were caught off guard, and some, weren't home, so we were able to leave the materials there for them. But what a great outreach program. Doc, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about it.
Well, to back up a little bit, it's a program that the Sheriff's Department started, and they've gone into a bunch of communities, and Michelle jumped all over that when she was at a
Conference.
some sort of conference,
Yeah.
said, we need that here. And I'm sure you were just as blown away as I was, the amount of kids that were there.
Yeah.
And it was so huge, by the time I got up in front to get a packet, they were all gone.
Yeah.
That's how many people were there. And they had 2 big bins
Yeah, it
of
was
packets.
over 900 houses were visited that
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
And so that
great.
it was phenomenal. So I ended up staying and talked to, I forgot the sheriff's name.
McDermott.
Yeah, McDermott. I had a great conversation with him and Rep. Chesason, and he said one of the groups was a football team,
Yeah.
and we might want to recognize them here for their volunteer work, because they all wore their football jerseys, and he said that was pretty incredible. So it was great, and she's doing such phenomenal
She knocks
job.
it out of the park.
Oh,
Yeah,
every
she absolutely
freaking
does.
time, and you can't forget Lauren.
Lauren, yeah.
Lauren too
Lauren's
was
amazing.
there, and she did a great job, but it was put on by the Sheriff's Department and a lot of representatives from there, and they said it was the biggest turnout
That they've had.
that they've had so far. Quincy was a little bit bigger, but that was a city, so for a town, they said we did phenomenal.
Great.
And just a reminder that as every year on 11/11, there'll be the Veterans Day. This year it'll be at the community center, but it's 11/11 at 11. So if anybody wants to mark the calendar.
And not to that level, but Paige, Katie, Deb, Bill, and myself went to the Chick-fil-A grand
yeah.
opening. So, and, nice building. They did a really nice job. They fed us. So,
They employ a lot of people. The most
Yeah, that was
surprising thing was the
interesting, yeah.
number of employees they have in the back of house working. And but they use real flour and real sugar. So I was a little impressed with that. You don't think of fast food as being quality, and
Well, I think the thing that what you're referring to is they make most of the stuff right there.
yes.
So their
Biscuits,
biscuits they
we're
make,
making, like-
their chicken nuggets
Yeah.
they make there. It's
From real
everything is
chicken.
fresh done. So it was very impressive, as you said. And the nice thing was 48 people on a shift. So
On a shift.
on a shift.
We didn't believe it, and then we see you.
The other day, and I
But again, if you're making everything, you can kind of understand it after a while. When you see the back room, there's so many locations where people have to be working.
Cutting
So-
biscuits.
Huh?
yeah.
Cutting
Yeah,
biscuits.
yeah. So it was 18 in the back and 30 in the front area.
And they are out in the drive-through. I mean, they're outside.
Yeah,
They're working.
so it's a great employment, option added to the town. So I think that was great. And we wish them
I've
the
seen
best.
a lot of kitchens in my day, and I was just like, I was mesmerized. Just the, as you go on, just like anything, the equipment gets better, and, but yeah, it was, we wish them luck. Hopefully they'll do well in that location. for sure.
We should note they dropped off lunches for public safety, schools, town hall. we didn't ask for it. This was prior to their opening. They just called us up, and they had the cow and Pat Patriot out there, and I wasn't here, I was at another meeting, but they delivered all the food and took pictures with employees, so it was a really good community event.
Did they go to the schools too?
Yeah.
Was it
Yes,
something
they
with the
did.
schools?
They went to the
Okay,
schools.
I saw something like on Facebook or something.
One other thing I thought of was the new banners went up.
Oh, yes, the new veterans
Yeah,
banners.
the reason it came to mind was they actually took
day.
a picture with, I think it was Mr. Bodie.
Oh, yes,
with
he
his-
was the first banner that went up on Town Hall.
Yep.
He's right near the like as close to the conservation office as he can be in front of Town Hall.
Yep.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.